All right, everybody. What's going on a Thirsty Thursday, as we used to say. Anybody that's spent any time on radio? Yeah, I wasn't on radio, but I was around radio. For those of you from Philadelphia or know WMMR, yeah, I spent about 3, 4 months working there. It was great. That was my radio experience. So, what's going on, right? How's your 7.5% inflation today? Let's get the disclaimer up because we know that they're going to have to come for people like us traders. We have to, if we don't take care of business. Risk disclaimer. Welcome to the Harmonic Pattern Podcast, February 10th, Thursday. This is entertainment that I hope you find educational. It is 5 o'clock somewhere on a Thursday. That's actually usually a great happy hour. Thursday, 5 o'clock. Long ago, not too long ago. So what's happening? How about the Bitcoin and the Ethereum charts? A little bit better. We had a reaction on this Ethereum, which was what we talked about. And then yesterday I posted that depending on your data feed, here we go again with the data feed, but I got a counter HSI signal on that Ethereum chart that said we had to go retest. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, there it is on the hourly. So before I go much further, quick shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you. Appreciate your understanding and patience in our last session. We got great people. Everybody here is really gets it. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that. I also, kind of want to take the opportunities when we get jokers that are wasting our time to remind everybody how important this time is that you put into the markets. Not to mention the opportunity at hand. So what do you do in this crypto market? What do you do in the stock market with 7.5 inflation? 7.5%. I mean, you got to go back to 82. And not many of you were around. I was. I was in school trying to fight the inflationary cost of school milk. But now, how are we going to trade this market? Because I think there's huge opportunities here. Some of the things that we've talked about previously, and now crypto, looks like, okay, let's be ready. Things could change pretty quickly. And I feel like that's what's developing here. Ethereum on the 1 hour chart, folks, it did come back and it's been grinding. I was saying as low as, let's go back here really quick. This still is our support right now. So if anybody's interested, if we get down to 2,800, that's our moving support. But after the HSI test, and I don't know what happened because I'll have to go to the Twitter feed. And let me go to the Twitter feed. Oh, one quick comment, folks. My apologies, but Harmonic Trader is not currently online. So if you have an issue with Harmonic Trader today, we're working on it. It seems to be the theme of the last several weeks, but harmonictrader.com is currently not operational. I'll be tweeting something later today on that once we're back up. And Stephanie, can you post the Discord link, please, so folks get with the Discord link, jump over there. That's the one reason why we open the Discord. But I anticipate harmonictrader.com to be back up later today. Here's the Ethereum chart. This was on the Gemini feed. I guess that was the one I was looking at, but we simply got a bullish HSI on the 4 hour. That's why we're headed back up. And again, until we get an HSI or until we get a test maybe of the hop reading, looks like we're just going to grind in this consolidation higher. Surprising we didn't react. Something to note about today's announcement: 7.5% inflation. They threw it down. Nasdaq's only down 100 now. It was down 300, but that's coming back. And keep an eye on that. Let me see, where was that? Nasdaq is at 14,950. I know there was we'll get to it in a second, but there was a number of charts, number of levels just above 15,000. Scott, how would you translate this inflation announcement technically on our charts? Well, listen, it's more about what does this mean? What does this mean for the trending markets we've seen? Listen, crude oil, right? Hello, crude oil. We have been talking about that for a long time, and the acceleration is happening. And so we have to play those trends that are, what it means is that those trends that are affected by that change, and we see it in energy in particular, or even in, here's one, okay, here's Altria. This was one I posted weeks ago, okay, beautiful. Remember this? Beautiful back to back with the Gartley now going up to retest the deep crab, probably shoots to 54. But it's situations like these, Altria, and that's just like one obscure stock. I mean, one obscure semi-large cap stock. But call it the inflation trade. Call it the acceleration inflation trade. Because absolutely, this is not stopping anytime soon. There's the risk disclaimer again. You guys didn't see that. There's the risk disclaimer. Someone was saying post that. Here's other, really quick, and I want to get to Bitcoin in a second, but here's Marathon Oil. I have mentioned this over and over. Just a quick update. Again, no long position other than to update that we're gunning for 24. We're at 22. This has been a great long-term play for me. The other one was Chevron. So these inflationary trades are only accelerating the trends. And we see that across the board. I mean, it's despite the fact that you had some reaction, you had no follow through. Here's Chevron. They just had earnings, follow through, all-time new highs. This thing starts. This is a dramatic move in the last 3 months, but that's the inflation trade. That's the inflation acceleration trade. Not to mention, folks, here's another way to think about it where the question was, and you got me off of crypto, but we're going to dial this all back to crypto in a second. How do we translate announcements like this? Because in November it was 6. December was 6.5. Now January's numbers from a month ago are 7.5. Maybe January was 7. All right, so today's the 10th. 7.5 here. Okay. 7% here. 6.5% here. Now let's think of it this way. You go your last 3 months, those are the numbers. And this is just crude oil. Just treat this as like a barometer for crude oil or oil in general. Where are we on that mark? We have accelerated the 1618, and we did that after last month's announcement. So think of it this way. Okay, crude oil, the major integrateds are in a major 1618 acceleration breakout on your daily. You're not only well above 1618 or even a 1902, you're stretching above a number where we'd go 224 up here. Just a general extension. But how you relate that is that this says to me this thing is in a major acceleration breakout with the possibility of doing a 314 on the daily and then come back and then go again. 314 on the daily puts you like 2618 minimum puts you at 148, but then you go to a 314, which is, hey, if this is really going to get out of hand, and I think the fear is that inflation goes to double digits, then we're going to have problems. And even at 7% for now, I think there's just people do not know what to do. They're hoping to God this thing abates soon. And the only question is, what does crude oil do? To me, it looks like this is in an active acceleration final leg where it could happen pretty quickly. Think of this as something that could happen before or by the summer, start of summer driving season. But the final note about crude oil, and we'll dial back to this because I want to look at the futures contracts, simply is the fact that as long as crude oil is going up, that's going to be bullish for the market. And if it's bullish for the market, it's bullish for your tech, even though a lot of tech has been beaten up, and at least it will come in and support it. You look at stocks like Disney today. Okay, we've talked about Disney. That's probably the start of the big return. And then other tech sectors that have held up pretty well, they should start to go again. Let's dial it back to crypto really quick because I think Bitcoin is breaking out. Yeah, it's 45.5, folks, on BTC. I will update some of the S-Coin picks that I have been talking about. They have been moving, and they're about to really accelerate. Let's go to a bigger feed. Let's go to, say, BTC on, where is it? Come on, Coinbase or Binance. Why? Because those are where the biggest volume happens. There's FTX. Hey, that's becoming a big exchange. 45,500, folks. 45,500. Trying to break out to a new high on the daily high above that 45 level. What is here? The only thing we're looking at is the 382. I think we mentioned that. Look, if I think I said this on Tuesday or Monday, that if the B point is the 886, which it is off the September swing, then the likelihood of a corresponding 382 to 46.7 is in the books. I was first saying, look, just for even minimum sake, our 236 was at 41.5. But 382 minimum is a type 1 reaction target. And I would look at as high as the 618 level. That's like 55. 50 levels, quite common. And then come back down, maybe, or just take off. I don't know. Everyone wants this thing to explode and then take off. I'm not so concerned about Bitcoin still just yet. Where do I want to be? I want to be in the altcoins that are going to do percentage moves much more than Bitcoin. Sure, Bitcoin, you want to hodl it and do it that way, swing, have some security. That's cool. I think there's a lot to it. And again, everything that I say about crypto or crypto projects is price and technically oriented. What is it doing? What's the structure? What's the pattern? What ratio? With this, we're in a reaction phase. We still are in a reaction phase. I mean, no doubt. We've come almost to the extreme where, take a look, above the overbought on HSI, amplified, expanding still. So that's actually what you want to see. And take a look at our prior readings. If you want to see Bitcoin continue, it has to do a move like this. It has to come in here and stay in the overbought extreme to really trend out of the hole and go higher. How do we do that? From a price action perspective. Okay, you are like right here in terms of last reading or that last comparative move. Last time we went from 39 up to 69. You had a lot of the similar readings. This one is better because you have taken out the prior reading, that prior high. You want to see stuff like that. You want to see your RSI metric, whatever it is, if it's standard RSI or you're using amplified with my platform. We want to see this kind of breakout. The other thing in price action, take note on the daily. How many bullish uptrend days have we had now? We can we can include all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can include that. Higher high, higher low, technically. 8 up days. And then since that low, folks, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 days since that low. And only really 3 negative candles fractionally. How does one actually get into BC with this pullback? I haven't been getting into BTC. I think BTC still is, you want to see that float up, do some things so that your altcoins can move. I mean, like Binance Coin. And Bitcoin will probably give us a really nice entry. But things like Binance Coin with that huge pattern that we talked about on the weekly, sorry, let me dial this back. There you go. There's daily Binance Coin. Just a large bat pattern. And this is a better structure with a better setup than what Bitcoin gave us. I mean, write down the 886. I'm going to say this, folks. Every 886 is fair game. If it's a swing or an all-time 886, something really clear, it's fair game. What's Forbes coin? Are you kidding me? Bitcoin new highs of the day, 45,600 right now. 45,609 climbing. That's great stuff. Let me show you one of the ones I featured in recent sessions and last week. XYO, folks. This is super early in the development. I am long a lot of this. I want to be upfront and transparent. I'm long a lot. Okay? And it's doing its move. Talked about this, I think, on Monday. Major downtrend breakout. Now, I'm not too concerned about the fact that it's exceeded its 886. That's quite all right. It's kind of like this. That would be your 886, but show me where the development, the structure of the breakout happens. It was all the way down here at about 205. Now breaking out. What we need to see on XYO is that we need to see it. We're going to a continuation out of this hole now, day over day. Next 5 days, give me 5 days up like Bitcoin and go back to, I'm targeting that prior high at 4 cents. And this is the kind of percentage move that I'm continuing to favor. Bitcoin's great, and it's already 30% off the low. Great. You buy it at 33, 34. You're now 45, 46. Nice. But this is up in the same regard, probably 25%, but with the potential, not only that, your 382 is at 444. A 50% retracement, and this is something I would consider on all of these, is about 525. I would be looking for a lot of these, and we're talking just down dirty S coins. Just the ones that are going to be total garbage that you would say, I would put a picture of XYO as for in the encyclopedia for S coins. 12-hour bat on XYO. Let's check it out. XYO 12-hour bat. What do we need to do? We need let me do that. Let's see. Why can't I get that? Let me try 10-hour. What data feed on that? Has to be Coinbase, right? I would think so. But that's one of several. I'm not going to waste our time. Guys, I'm not trying to pump. I will tell you what I'm in, but I don't, I've mentioned that twice in the last week, but it's moving. So I'll mention it again because 440, you go from here to 440, just do the percentage. Bitcoin would have to go to 80,000. Sorry, go back to 75 or 70,000. Here's Gitcoin. Here's that other one. These are real speculative plays, but look, they have parked themselves at the all-time 886, stabilizing, ready to give us a time frame trigger on say, a 4 hour or something, but go to your daily. Again, just 886 all the way back down. Your 886 is 740. We're trading 890. The low ended up being a 946. 946 is the square root of 886, by the way, and that's something you should look at. 946. I should do something on that entirely. But the 946 is a good number. 886, 946 layering approach. Maybe next week I'll do something on that. 382 on Gitcoin goes to 14 bucks. Nice. Yes, by the way, despite the fact that our website is down, make sure if you have Harmonic Pattern Collection for TradingView that you go and you log out. Here, I'll do it. Log out. Okay, and then log back in. Maybe hit refresh even. And then log back in and you will get the new automatically. You don't have to reload it or anything like that, but you will get the automatic new updated script. Let me see if I get it. Ooh, let's go 4 hour. Nice XYO popping. Thank you. I appreciate the donations, but folks, XYO, my target. This might even pull back. You're popping, you're pumping a little bit now. Check out my last week of streams. Actually, this was something I was talking about on Mitch Ray. Mitch Ray TA. We will have Mitch Ray TA back next week. Also, quick congratulations to Mitch Ray. Yesterday, I caught a part of his stream, his 4th year of streaming practically 7 days a week for 4 years, give or take a few days. Ian Copsey from Harmonic Elliott Wave utilizes an 856-91944. I don't know. I need to contact him. He would be a great guy to come on the show. Certainly, he would be give you Elliott Wave people something to talk about. And then, of course, Bob Prechter. I really would be a dream stream, me and Bob Prechter. I think maybe that's something I should pursue. But this GTC, those are the ones super speculative, but they're not much different from things like Cardano. Just needs more time. All right, Cardano coming off of here, whatever, not doing the kind of magic that Bitcoin, Ethereum are trying to do, but give it time. What I think might happen in some of these that haven't moved yet is we'll get some kind of pattern, 4 hour or whatever, come back and give us like a bat pattern, down to the 886, something like that, and then explode. That's the thing to be thinking about for those that haven't started their march up yet to recover what they lost over the last, depending where you are, it's 3 to 6 to 9 months. But I would love to see some kind of really nice pattern development. Bob Proctor is not Robert Prechter. Is not Bob Prechter. Bob Proctor, I did see that. Unfortunately, I think he got with some. He was with an organization that will be nameless. The guy that you're mentioning, that I don't know what he was doing with those people, but yeah, RIP for the Bob Proctor. But Robert Prechter of Elliott Wave International is alive and well and kicks butt. Bitcoin, BTC, 45,550. And climbing, and that's what we want. We want BTC to just steady climb up. Let's get over to one or two more, folks. Um, Crypto.com, folks, get this on your radar. It's really doing things. I'm impressed. It did not. I was really hoping we would get this kind of a thing with Crypto.com, and it didn't materialize. But that's okay. I mean, hey, think of it as like this. Okay. Did not get, well, we did get the 786, which was like right there. But I was looking for the 886 on that down to like 23. So now it's definitely doing the same thing that XYO did and some of the others that are, I think, ahead of the game. When you see this downtrend breakout, okay, that's the kind of situation where it might not be ready quite yet, but crypto.com will give us a pullback on an hourly or 4 hour time frame that will set up in a real nice way for us to get this. Okay, so we had nothing really here at 32, 35. It's now 53, but we'll get a pullback and we'll get that next 30 cents. Sure, I'll look at Link and Luna. Link, right? Probably the most disappointing, strongest crypto, best street cred of all crypto. And look at this. There's your hourly. Beautiful crab patterns all around $19. I would say type 1 reaction over. What's it doing on the 4 hour or daily? Here you go. Well, maybe we get an ABCD off of this low. Something like this. Ethereum and Bitcoin did this. Basically the 886 swing off of the mid-January peak before the prior high. I think a lot of them could do that. I think a lot of the crypto will at least give you an 886 of that last ditch down. Come back and retest it in a reaction. CRO may have a big weekend with the Super Bowl and all the sponsorship ads. I think so. And, this sounds a lot like Doge on Saturday Night Live, right? So I would think crypto.com could run for the next 2 days, but I'd be selling into that. I have no position in crypto.com. I do think we'll get a correction off of that. Maybe crypto.com goes a bit higher, 60, 65, but one thought on crypto.com. Look at a 5-minute chart. It will be active the next several days, and thinking in percentages, this thing could pop to 65 cents, no problem. But look, there's the 4-hour chart. Beautiful butterfly right off the low. Look at that. Right here at 53.65. So nothing I'm jumping on quite yet, but maybe we get something like this down to 44 and then back up. That's the kind of thing I would look for. The daily time frame is just, it's overbought. I mean, it's a heck of a reaction up. So, although HSI hasn't registered, that 4-hour butterfly is pretty nice, and I would still, you have come a ways. Let this thing come off. Let this give you some kind of pullback. I mean, that was a nice one down to 50. Probably day tradable over the next couple of days. Yeah, there you go. Well, yesterday, beautiful bat pattern all the way at 47 cents. And that very well could, you're trading 54. It's like, oh, I think I missed it. No. We easily could come up, do something, and then come back down and give you another one before you head up higher. But certainly get it on the radar. One or two more. Somebody said Luna. Again, I'm looking for trades, not looking to hodl. Looking for trades. I think Luna's a great trading vehicle. Check out the hourly chart. Beautiful bat pattern. Remember, I was just saying that most of these are doing bat W formations off of their January, whatever that January slide was. Luna was stronger than most, so it took a while, but they're all doing the bat formations. And I noticed this thing's picking up a lot more patterns now. Look at all those crabs that are picking up perfectly. I mean, I don't think it was picking up as many patterns. What happened to BTC at 28,000? It bounced off the 886 and we are in a reactionary type 1. And I all along said I'm more interested in altcoin speculation than BTC. I think you want BTC to hold 30,000, 33,000, and you could come back down. But right now you're in a reaction until you get some clear overbought signals. It's back on for now. That's okay. Just speculation, trading. You're looking for longs. You want Bitcoin to drift higher. You want Ethereum to drift higher. But I want to play the other markets. Thanks, Alice. Alice says there's more patterns with the new scripts. That's great. So where do you go to get this? If you can't go to Harmonic Trader, go to Harmonic Pattern Collection, folks. Let's see if is that still online? Shoot me if it's not. Yeah, good. HarmonicPatternCollection.com. That's where you can get all the information for the latest updates. Let's look at Cosmos. I agree. That's a good one. Cosmos. This is one that pounded against the 44 level. I was not a fan. I said this is stuck and it would probably come off of there. And the daily, yeah, not much. This is one of those where you just draw the lines, static lines, and say it's pretty obvious. My support here is about 25 bucks. My resistance going forward is about 42. Let's be conservative. So you're looking to buy that. You're looking down here. 25, I'll buy. You're at 30 right now. You could come back one more time. But I'm looking now down here. It's not going to break down. It didn't do. What it did was, check this out. So you never got the full on Cosmos. We were thinking, maybe this thing could do a full bat pattern like this, all the way down to the 886, which some of them did around 13 bucks. You look at Polkadot, look at OMG. Anyway, this case, you can bring this up and just look at this off the September correction because it held that last pivot low. What we do have here is kind of a Gartley at the 786, quite frankly. Even though there's overspill, you want to focus on the 786 because B point, real close to a 618. Remember, your B point needs to be plus minus 3%, especially in the Gartley. That sets up, you have nice A, B, C, D parameters, a real tight one like 886, 113. All of your numbers on the harmonic formation here show you between 2550 and the 786 at 2350. I like that. If you come back down, by definition, one more time, you come back down and retest the 786 at around 2350. For me, that would be your type 2 for Cosmos to set up the larger move. These aren't all in the same position. Here's another one that was popping earlier. I meant to bring this up. Why? Another all-time 886. Where's the Coinbase feed? Because this is the thing I mentioned. This was one of these that had retested the entire since the Coinbase came online. What is this? A 141? Yeah, 141 to the dot. That's a valid harmonic. Sets you up to go to a 382. 13 and change. I'm not into that one. I have position in Bitcoin. I have a position in uh, other ones. Hey, let me really quick before I jump into the markets. Well, I will jump into the markets, but let's segue into the markets with looking at the crypto stocks. Folks, Bybit, BTBT, now up 63 cents, 13.43 cents on the day. We were banging this at 350, 380. Why? Because we were at the hop level off this weekly massive Gartley 440 triggered. We're triggering now on the weekly. This has got type 2 written all over it. Very early, I'm long a bunch of this. Just so you know, I will be long a bunch of this. Minimum back up to this BC level at 832, but I'm thinking target one at 15's. Something's going on here. This is where when you see the patterns and you see stuff like this, or you look at, I think the other one was Riot blockchain. We mentioned this a week or so ago. Big crab pattern. And all of them triggered right at the low. Now 2063. There you go. Daily time frame. It was either daily. There you go. Daily time frame. Look at that beautiful crab pattern. This is what we need to do. We need to come together, okay? Get with the Discord group, get with the Facebook group. We need to find these. Like, be the Wall Street bets of harmonic patterns that we're all queuing each other in on the major structures. I can't catch them all. I'm looking at a zillion markets and things obviously pass me by. I utilize the monitor. I'll show that in a second. We utilize the scanner, but these are the kind of ones that by far are your greatest harmonic pattern setups. Really clear crab pattern at a 1618. Terminal bar completes. We talked about this on Tuesday of kind of how the harmonic pattern process unfolds. Well, this is it. Pattern completion. Bullish candle after hitting the zone. 1, 2, 3 bars. Fourth bar, ready to rock. And you break out up, and now we target one. That's what we want to see. CLSK, a crypto miner, beat on earnings today. That's very good. That's what we want to see. I like it. I really think these crypto stocks are in a position that they weren't a few months ago. That helps the entire crypto scene. It really does. I'll look at CLSK. Was there anything there preceding this? Clean Spark. Let's take a look. I think these all were priced for bankruptcy, quite frankly. Whoa. Hey, Dimitri. Yes, it does. We were just looking at BTBT. And here's another one. Look at that all-time 886 on Clean Spark. So what does that tell you, folks? Right? We've got a reaction underway. I think and you're just getting started. Nice, up 23%. Target one is 19. And that's okay to be still thinking about that. I'm thinking, down here at XA, I'm thinking 1960, 1965. Get on up there. Have a follow-through breakout. This kind of market, it's amazing these things got just absolutely sent out back and destroyed. But there's all-time 886. Let's do one or two more, because that really is the theme about today. What's the harmonic pattern telling you? Here's Hut Mining. Look at that beautiful ABCD. All-time weekly ABCD on Hut. Remarkable. And now, well, looks like type 1 reaction is over, folks, because you went down to target 2 and spend 2 weeks reversing. Now you're clearly 3-bar reversal territory. Yeah, 149 to $10. But what does that also say? That it can spring back the other way. That's what makes a market. It tells us that harmonic patterns are an extremely useful primary tool to have in your toolbox. Amen. Look, the structure alone can give us the zones, and I don't care what you use, quite frankly. I don't think you can ignore the levels. And when we get patterns like we're seeing Clean Spark or Bybit's the one we've really featured. And again, this is massive speculation, but based on the framework, type 1, type 2, we know this move here has a lot more potential to it. Not to mention, take note of that move from back in July. Bit Digital goes from 440 to $20 in the course of 2.5 weeks, and then right back down over the next 6 months. But here's where you hit and retest. This is right here is where we start looking. The 440 level was hit right here. Right there. You start looking there. And we're threatening a breakout. You have HSI. Take a look at your indicators coming out of the zone. On HUT, we do not have HSI bullish. Not yet, but I would be looking. I think these are early. Look, that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of these they were priced for bankruptcy, which is really common in stocks. You will see that. I mean, that's why energy, it just is rebounding in crazy fashion. A year and a half, 2 years ago, energy was priced for zero, and it went to negative 40 on the spot futures. But now it's coming back to some historic norms. Same with these. Except I just would not think this being much more than the setup for yet another speculative thrust run but this time we go to target 2. Just by definition, type 1, type 2 of the pattern framework. Not a problem on that. Okay, one or two more before I get into I want to look at the ETFs. Let's do DKing. DraftKings. Look at that. Thank you. Who's put that up? G-Dog, UK. That is money, my friend. DraftKings, get it on the radar. 886 swing at 1787. $440 is a great frequency number. 886 is a great frequency number. I think we need to look at all of these. Line up your favorite techs. All of the big speculative plays that were running last year or the prior year, they're doing 886s. They're coming back and doing the COVID 886 correction. Those are the deep oversold setups like crypto that we want to line up. Here's another one. This is a new one. Palantir. All-time 886. Ready to rock. Here you go. Trading $14. Now, what is here in Palantir other than the 886 that helps the situation is this last 1618. So we look at it like this. First, all-time since the IPO. Come out, big speculative move. Full reset 886 is at 13, basically 1320. You're right there. I'm looking at Palantir now. Why? Well, you're setting up really nice stabilization at your 886. Also, even though it's not showing up on the pattern, I'll show you how that we get this crab. This crab looks like this. And I know that if the software was going to find it, it would draw it like this. Okay, so that is a valid crab pattern, and I want everyone to know that that's helps the larger 886. Okay, let me get that lined up. It's not right. It's got to be lined up. There you go. B point was like 67. Thanks, G Dog. I appreciate that. So that's the thing where a lot of the larger speculative plays, I mean, that was 40 something bucks. We caught that move. We were on Palantir on the first move. And now let's get it again. Palantir 886 all time, about to come out of the oversold reading on amplified. Not to mention, look, green line has gone on right there, but you're not out of the woods until about now or maybe tomorrow. Certainly by next week. A lot of things coming together in a real nice fashion. Here's something that's coming together. Again, talking about harmonic pattern framework and why we want to just maintain that harmonic pattern perspective that really I wanted to talk about today, the harmonic pattern perspective. Here's Pfizer, right? How many of us want to see Pfizer go down and eat a bunch of, you know what, dog doo-doo? Well, eat some crab, Pfizer. Go down, do a type 1 reaction down to 44, which it's doing. It tried to hold itself up, but it's in the books. So the cold vid is over. Pfizer's over. Yeah, I guess you're not going to make any more money, right? Too bad. But look for type 1 reaction. We knew that. This is something I posted, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago. That this crab pattern on the weekly would at least give us a pause, reaction, understanding, hey, we're not just picking anything out here. All the ideal measurements with confirmation, 3-4 bars, and you start going down. That's ideal action. Not to mention, an easy way to think about it, folks, most of these big cap, sleeper, crawler, top 100, S&P 100, S&P 500 stocks, when they do moves on daily, weekly charts and they go to a 1618, they're going to run into some resistance. That's just how it goes. I mean, that's just the natural market dynamics unfolding. Hey, if you're long Pfizer and you believe it's a great company, that's great. Wait till it does the target one. Retest, come down in a reaction, and then we'll come back. But now that's done. That's over. I'll show you another cold vid stock that was a darling and amazing and now has crashed back to earth. This is Clorox, right? We were all buying anything we could get our hands on a year ago. Where does this go? Cold vid 886. Well, there's cold vid low, but it's more like this. The discernible high to low, the really clear, distinct action would be down around 128, 129. And I think that's an opportunity to look at long-term uptrend of Clorox. This is a great investment. Okay, no doubt. Clorox, slow, steady, super boring. That's the kind of thing you want to put money into against a long-term uptrend and just sleep at night and collect the dividends. That one's almost ready, but I would think let's come down to the 886. Right? How many times is it working out? This 886 has been just hitting it. Now there's a crazy formation where they have that quick uptrend move, but really this has got kind of bat formation off the top written on it. I'm thinking 124, 125. But that's against the long-term uptrend, and that would be a place to start adding money. Here's a question from the chat. Scott, from your perspective, all these ideas in the weekly charts, is it better to trade with stocks or with leap options? That's a great question. Look, I've done well with options. I've gotten my butt kicked with a couple option plays. I favor the stocks if you can, if you got the capital to do it, because the margin of error is a lot less. I mean, you screw up in options, you're basically blowing up premium. Those kind of losses you want to avoid. You want to avoid, if you can, loss drawdowns. these kind of plays, these longer weekly plays I'm talking about. The here's the other one, Peloton, right? Remember that? We talked about Peloton was at the 886, and look at that. Exploding. I didn't know. Hey, we talked about that initial news of potentially someone buying them out, but more important with the whole scenario is the fact that tell me what's going on as soon as that 886 is hit and basically attack at the first sign of stabilization. 886 is around 35, 36 bucks. And that's probably early in the development as well. One more. Zoom is at the 886. Not quite. Now, this is a little bit different than those others. I think this will go. Oh, wait. What's Zoom? Zoomability. That's not Zoom. Zoom Media, as in Zoom, the big one. Although, I don't know what Zoomability is, but this one, draw it like this. Yeah. I mean, it's not really, it's not a Gartley. Your B point is not at a 618, but what this really is just a big ABCD at the 886 at 438. But Zoom Media, the one that everyone knows, that's ZM. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ashroth. The ABCD, now I'm going to highlight why that's an ABCD there. This here, that's the computer's picking up the ABCD off of that point, not the all-time high, because of the symmetry between the number of bars and the ratios. So it's a perfect ABCD at a 618. That goes down to a 1618 on that last ditch move. But I would look at this all-time Zoom video chart. Just trace it out all time. What's your B point off the all-time? The B point's at a 59%. So if it's a Gartley, which it is, a Gartley's at a 618, it's within the plus minus 3% tolerance. 59% comes up to a C point at a 45, then back down to a 786. Hold on one second. Back to a 786, which is, get over here, right about where the hop is off that ABCD, 170. But just in case, 116 is your 886. I would favor this more right now as a Gartley at the 786 with some overspill. If we can break out, this is Zoom Media, by the way. Start looking, maybe get a type 1 reaction, even if it remains in a downtrend. But, okay, that's another one of several we have seen. Really quick, story stock of the day, Disney, up huge. Check that out. Weekly Disney. Wow, this thing is finding more patterns. I did not have that. I didn't have the bullish pattern, but we did and have been talking about this type 1 reaction in Disney. Came all the way down to, we were looking maybe as low as target 2. What's going on? It's stabilizing at about 142. Type 1 reaction is over, folks. So let's get this back on the radar. Maybe what we do is we come up off of the deep crab, type 1, then come back and maybe a little bit later this year for the bigger move. But Disney's showing signs. NVIDIA, 886. Yeah, you know what? Those semis, a lot of them did the reaction. NVIDIA was all the way down off the October 886. That's strong. NVIDIA is another one, clear uptrend. We don't need to fight that. That's the kind of thing, if you're looking, and I am looking for new positions for long-term plays, this would be one of them. Weekly HSI on NVIDIA just triggered at 263. The daily time frame. Oh, look at that. Did we talk about this before? That bat pattern at 212, man, that's the perfect 886 off the October low. From October low to high, 212, that has to be the low. CRSR, first ever momentum on weekly MACD. I'll look at that in a second. I think what you can take away from all of this is we have major patterns at these lows. Nasdaq's only down about 70 right now. And I think this is going to, every time they try to sell it off, it keeps coming back. What's that tell you? Crypto's sparking up. That's great. You need to see it get above 45,000 on Bitcoin, by the way, but at least I don't really need it to do much. And if you get stocks doing stuff like this, especially something like Nvidia, it's a real feature tech stock. That's what you want to see move. And you want to see something like Nvidia go to all-time new highs really soon. And we're at 261 at the moment, 264. Hey, if you were lucky enough to get this to come back one more time, that would set up your type 2 back at 212. And that's the point where, from a larger perspective, I would say, okay, you can go and then do your blast off. But get them on the radar. Okay, you folks want to look at one or two more crypto. I'm ready to wrap it up for a Thursday, but okay, a couple more crypto and then get out of here. Let me go on. XRP is a great one to look at. So let's circle it back. XRP has been one of the feature weekly patterns that I think has been phenomenal. It's still early in the whole construction of the type 2 reversal. It's a big weekly bat, but here it is. It's on this one, Tether. But we have been talking about the larger retest of 55 as your XA level off of this Gartley, and it's a beautiful Gartley off the 21 low, and it's a type 2. This is the one that has more potential to launch. If you're looking for all-time new highs, this is the kind of setup we'd want to see. You had a nice reaction as high as 125 off of 55, then right back, all within 9 months. Now, I would think we're there. The fact that we held 55, which was the XA level on the Gartley, you've broken out. You've done a clear 3-bar breakout, which is what we talked about on Tuesday. That's something to take note of. Now you want to see continuation. Minimum 137 is target 2 for XRP, folks. Okay, Filecoin. Filecoin. Yeah, this is another one. This is probably earlier in the development of being all the way back to your 886 all time. I mean, amazing that this thing, you can see the bat that I drew out previously. Yeah, I'll just do an all-time 886. This is at $30, so you need to get above 30. And I think there's better ones. Here's the thing to look at, especially for these garbage coins. And they're great. Hey, go for them. Go for it, because I think you can get a lot of great speculative moves, but understand that that's what it is. This is like that XYO, but it isn't to the right of the line yet. It hasn't not cracked the downtrend. I mean, even if I bring it in a little bit tighter, we want to encompass that prior peak right there and draw it like there. It's close. Officially saying that the downtrend that started on this going back last March is trying to break out on the weekly basis, but you need a few weeks. You want to see the Bitcoin daily one more time? Okay. But this is the thing you want to look for in a lot of those. Let it break out. Get to the right of that downtrend and then trigger. BTC on who? On Coinbase. You want to go back to that. There you go. Trading 45,250 at the moment. The takeaway with Bitcoin, folks, is that we do now have a 3-bar breakout. What does that mean? Well, what are the last 3 bars? 1, 2, 3. And then that prior high is the resistance where we have clearly broken out. Any close above 43,600 is constructive with follow through into next week. Not to mention, remember what I was just saying about break out of the downtrend and get to the right of that and then trigger something? That's when you know you are in the clear breakout territory, or as what Wyckoff says, trying to jump across the creek, jump across the stream, get into new territory, then come back and retest that initial thrust. So longer term basis, that's good. You just need green candles. Green candles. You could even go have an inside week next week, but just hold the prior low each week. We should see a serial move, meaning higher highs, higher lows every week up to, I'm going to think it's more than just a 382. Why? Because 382 is only there 47,000, 46.5. But if we get more like a 50% level, something like that, 51,000, then you have a chance to set up, as this thing loves to do, W formation, and then give a bat pattern for 886 retest, 65, something like that. Great. Another feedback saying they are getting a lot more patterns. Excellent. Do let me know. C pool, I don't know what that is. Clear pool to tether. I'm going to say, I can't, yeah, there's really not much to do with something like that. Any of those kind of S coins that have, I mean, that's just, again, look, anything like that that's not really clear. Again, this is super garbage coin. Just draw your downtrend. Give me a downtrend that encompasses the low and doesn't form another new low. That one formed another new low, so your downtrend's still intact. We need to get to the right. Here's the one that I featured when we started today, XYO. This is early in development, but again, when you look at your downtrend, that's why it's different. That's why it is different. We need to find more like this. Zcash, perfect example, right? Here you go. Talked about this being all the way down, but broke out of the downtrend, thank goodness. And we are at the 886 off of that last swing. Doesn't mean we jump right in at the 886, but we sure, get focused when it does. 886 at Zcash was 108. But where's the breakout? The breakout's down here at 102. And then you go. At least for minimum 382 reaction. And I will maintain that for just about all of these until Bitcoin can really show me something. But this is a sizable move. These 382 harmonic bounces, these reactions, what's so nice about them? They usually happen in a serial fashion, straight up. If it's not going to continue above the 382, it'll probably hit the number and pause. So this is just some thoughts for right now, and I will still maintain that whole perspective of we're in reaction phase. The patterns are telling us that. Bitcoin's telling us that. Altcoins are giving us a number of really sweet opportunities. You're in finance. This is something else. Hasn't moved yet, but this has got more of the stabilization, sideways action that I've talked about. There's kind of a beautiful shark, a little bit lower there, or we could really go with the bat on this. Is I think the true harmonic connecting dots all the way down to your 886. I mean, right on the money at 20,000. Get that on your radar. You're in finance, not doing much just yet, but that's okay. It hasn't taken out the downtrend. But once it does, you want to be there. Something like that. Now that might come back down, retest the 886 at around 20,000, somewhere in there. But we are much closer to the lows than the prior all-time high, which is, you look at, you're in finance, made that move almost to 100,000. I mean, that's just remarkable. And not to mention, this is again another all-time 886, and I'm going to share this with everyone that I learned this 886 in the crypto. Look at that. I mean, right on the money. I learned that in 2017. I was not involved with the market I had a little involvement. I caught the cycle late in 17, but then got out early too. But then watched it, and I knew people that were in the industry, and I just said, when these get down to the all-time 886s, buy it all. I just remember saying that. I was at dinner, and Bitcoin was hitting, like, it was breaking under 8,000, and finally bottomed at around 4,000, which was the 886. Look at the Bitcoin chart, folks. Again, and this is something that's repeating. It doesn't have to do this devastating move in Bitcoin, but it can do it in the other altcoins, and then give you a nice pattern or big 886 retest. Look at these. Look at these beautiful Bitcoin patterns. And this is the kind of thing to think about with larger patterns. I think this is kind of like XRP before the big move. XRP, beautiful, massive weekly pattern before it does the larger blowout move. And the rest of it's waiting, very subtle but powerful accumulation. XRP is the same way. And a lot of these other S coins, I would say we're here on those S coins. Nice big fat correction for an 886. Then we'll do a thrust up. And then if we come back maybe in a few months and retest that 886 after this reaction, that's where the cycle could really take off. We certainly have work to do, but I feel like you're at 886s that are providing clear stabilization, which is you're not chasing anymore. Okay, one more. And if this QRDO is nothing, all right, that looks all right. Let's see QRDO. This is new, right? New. I don't know what QRDO is, but I'll look at it for you. Down. Came out in November. That's Bitfinex. This one, you're not so much. I mean, you're just a reaction. Again, you could do the same with all of them. Show me where the 382 is, and if we're going to just bounce here, your 382 is your likely target for any kind of bounce back to $5. That's what El Salvador is using. Appreciate that information, Alec. I'll take a look at one other data feed on that. And who knows? Maybe they're right. Maybe El Salvador will be doing something revolutionary here. A lot of people think so. And I'm talking going back decades of what the US dollar has done to Central American and South American societies. Despite all of the inflation and everything from especially the early 80s, and you have it again, but the problem that happened in the early 80s was Latin American debt crisis. And that destroyed those currencies. Many of them had to reissue many times over. And maybe that might be going on right now. We got to see. QRD. Oh, that's a little better. On the KuCoin, what am I going to draw here? M formation, X, A to B. B point is at a 64%. So what is that? That's really close to a Gartley. I would say, okay, 64, that gives you, it's not 66, it's 64. I'll put the magnet on. Anchor mode. Although that can be a real pain. But like this. There's the low. And then 786. Amazing. 886 would be a little bit lower. But that's at $2. Yeah, look for something else. Wait for that to come back. That's already doubled. That is one thing about something like that where percentage-wise, it's doubled off the low. What's Bitcoin done? 30%. All right, my man. You will get the strong USD, and that's my last one. So strong USD. Which exchange? Not too many, right? That's only, yeah, see, you need, that's the other thing, folks. Think of it this way. I know you can have S coins that are, you've got your favorite pet project, whatever. What you want is you want multiple exchanges. This is only on one exchange with KuCoin, maybe two. Just something to think about, James. And I do like this. Go back on the 4-hour time frame. Look, you're clear 886. This right here at the almost exactly at the lows. What's that? 96. But your 886 is at 415. If that came back to the 886, that would be actually a nice retest. 416. Maybe one more time. Where did it go in the first move? 45%. So, yeah, you possibly have something like this shaping up. Maybe a check back, and then you go higher. But I would favor ones that are on multiple exchanges. Why? If they're going to run, then you got a better chance of people piling on from Gemini and Coinbase and Bitfinex and all those other ones. Think of it that way, because this is just like musical chairs, quite frankly. When these coins run, they will run they'll run hard, and they'll run aggressively in a short period of time, doing moves that can only be caught if you aggressively capture them. This one, if it ran to 680 or 700, you have to automatically take it. Think of it that way. Do consider that. There was one more. I know. You got it. See, you're going to give me another one? You know what I'm going to say. Joe USD. Was this Joe Biden coin? I know where this is. Joe. Seriously, people would sell this just because it's Joe. I would not want to have, Yeah, I don't know what this is at all. But again, at least this is on more than one exchange. Tough one. I mean, straight down. This is one, it's just recently traded on Binance Coin. Folks, let that shake out. It could bounce, it could do a 50% move, but let this thing give you, I don't know, something. I really don't, there's no patterns developing here. But let's say if it just did like, this. I don't know why this catches your eye. Maybe, something you know about again. But if you like something like that, great. Put it on the screen. But wait for it to come back to you. I think it's part of the reason why patterns are really good for traders, because it makes them wait for the situation and the conditions to come together instead of mooning into anything. People could, been very convincing the last couple of years to just get into Bitcoin, get into Ethereum, You listen to Michael Saylor for more than 5 minutes, like, look, I'm going to mortgage my whole house and do what this guy's doing. But that's not the play because we've seen how many 50% corrections now in Bitcoin. We gotta wait, please. If your first currency in trading is always your time, and everyone has time, as you know, maybe not all the time in the world because a lot of people have full-time jobs and trying to trade, but your first currency in trading is your time. And you have to use it wisely or you're wasting your time and your money. Nothing quite there yet, but I don't know. Here's one more. Aave. This was one, again, a popular one that a lot of people were clamoring about last year. Well, you know, not much, but getting close to its all-time 886, depending on what exchange you're in. You know, around 99, under $100. Yeah, a couple more here. AUD, NZD. You want to jump to currencies really quick? It is our last stream of the week. I'll give you guys 5 more minutes. AUD, NZD. I should go over to the other platform on eSignal, but ooh, look at that. Weekly. AUD, NZD. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Type 2. Deep crab with a big ABCD. But you're at target 2 at 107.50, just above it. What's the daily look like? Ooh, look at these patterns. I think there's more patterns, right? I really think there's more pattern, a lot more patterns popping out. These Gartleys and crabs are. I might have to talk to them about some of the other smaller ones. I don't want to get too many here, but this is a nice setup. AUD NZD going higher, up to the hop around 108 before anything. Where's no confirmation, so this is still trending higher. Let's look quickly at markets. We didn't even talk markets. Let's look at the SPY, folks. Okay, S&P 500 is down 38 and change. The SPY is down 380. This is one of the things I did want to talk about before we get out for the week, is the fact we've had the reaction off of the bearish pattern. Then we had the reversal, which came down to target 2. And there's our HSI. Now what? Well, we have HSI against us where around this 453, 454 is going to be a real tug of war. If the longer term trend is going to continue, we need to see this whole market break out. And I mean like tomorrow. It came close today, but that's a critical. This whole area is a critical check back. 452, 453. That's basically 4,500 on the index. Where S&P 500, if it's going to continue, it has to go here. If it's going to reverse off that HSI and take more time, you don't have much bullish in the way other than say trend line, where you're getting squeezed against this level, but it's going to tell you a great deal what's happening for the rest of the quarter. Think of it this way, folks. We're halfway into the first quarter already of this year. The quarter ends the 31st of March, basically 6-7 weeks from today. What we do in the next week is going to tell us a great deal about what's happening here. Yeah, I agree. So great comment. That was my next comment. So what we do have here is a 5-0 pattern. And we mentioned that this is probably one of the reasons why it's having trouble. Here's your 5-0. Looks like this. Well, you could do it a couple ways, but okay, down to there. And then 5-0 at the 618. Remember, it was at 458 was the 618. So you are at the 5-0. This should be a type 1 reaction. And that wouldn't be surprising for then coming back later. You could absolutely bang around for one more test off of that HSI with what's going on here. Just be aware of that. It's remarkably volatile action that needs to continue now. If it rolls over, it's gonna take more time. And yes, I agree with that larger situation about the long term. We talked about why that's so critical, because if we don't hold these swing lows from October, folks, then we're going to have to deal with what's happened since COVID low. Look, since COVID down here at the low, I think that's the whole market. That's the whole market. Forget everything else that could be unfolding or any larger consequence. Our measurable segment for all of this is basically, the possibility these lows don't hold, then you do a 382 correction and you give it back. Quick question about, is there a meeting in April? No, I said this a few weeks ago. We were going to do a major meetup in Miami in April, but I put that on hold. When I had to make those plans, traveling was a nightmare, and it wasn't really clear. Look, it's not that I'm anti anything. I just don't think the masks are really a great idea, and they're a tremendous inconvenience for people. And so if we can avoid that inconvenience, that's my preference. And so maybe September we'll do a major meetup, like a US meetup for sure. I want to do it. Keep an eye on it. Look, let's go to NASDAQ. I agree. Really quick, let me bring up the other platform. We're still not out of the woods, folks, on any of this. I do like the fact that oil is running, and we're in an environment where this is going to burn itself out. What does that mean? Well, people are going to start rationalizing that crude oil is going to help and it's positive as long as that keeps running, which it will. That will be bullish for the economy. I think that can only go on for so long. I think it's true for now, but we're going to hit a point. Maybe oil does some kind of spike capitulation, but eventually that will have to correct. Conversely, the market won't go down unless oil goes down too. Important to keep that in mind. What's happening with SPY? SPY is now falling down. SPY just got clipped. What happened? You're gonna come over and hand me a bag of money? That's all right. Let's wait. Let's wait till they get craps in the casinos in Miami too. Then I'll show you guys the dice system. Look, the SPY is rolling over here, now down 547. What about rates? Let me get the other chart up quickly. Let's do the e-signal platform. Let's go to the futures. NQ futures, we were trying to come up. Where's NQ futures now? Down 245 again on NQ futures. Ooh, 4-hour time frame on NQ just registered a bearish HSI. Yikes. Okay. There's evidence here where if we're going into Friday, let's highlight a few important things. Amplified RSI BAM, not only did it register an overbought, but you have a red line stopping basically right here. I want to start looking to the right. You have a secondary test that's lower. That's confirmation on the amplified RSI of that and here. So really threatening that wedge. And if you break down on that wedge, it wouldn't take much that you trigger your B point under 14.4, 14.3, then you are looking at something larger. I mean, this is important stuff here. This has to hold. And you're down another chunk you weren't able to rally this back. Look at your 5-minute time frame. This is NASDAQ futures. And I always like to say, what's the last 5-minute HSI signal? Well, it was bearish up here, but now we have a bullish bat. 14,756. Let's see if we get there in the next 5 minutes. CPI numbers did come out this morning. They were terrible. Well, depending on how you make your money and how you make your living. If you work for the oil companies, you're going to have a nice year. 30-year bond auction. I guess it wasn't good. That's what someone's saying. Yeah, 30-year just came out. But let's look for today. 886 on the 5-minute time frame. That's where I will target this drop. Let's look at the S&P futures. Dial it back. We were talking 4,500 is the huge level. Oh, look at that. There's another bat pattern. Bang. 45.20. You're about 6 points away. Here's the 4-hour S&P. Interesting. Remember what we were talking about last week on the ETFs for the SPY and this futures? They all had patterns down here, crab patterns, what have you. The only thing we need to see and be aware of going forward is the trend line. You violate the trend line, you take out, say, this prior low. Basically, 4,500 is it. If we really break down 4,500 or 4,440, the only thing left is a full retest of that pattern, which is what is shaping up. All right, someone's been saying UVXY for about 30 minutes. UVXY, the ultra short-term ETF, futures ETF. Yeah, this is one of those momentum option plays. Yeah, there's a bat pattern down there. Should get a bounce off that 886. Interesting. Ultra short-term. Ultra VIX short-term futures. So your VIX is at an 886. What does that mean? Look for a reaction. That is a bat pattern too, by the way. No, it's a Gartley. It's a Gartley down at the 886, but shouldn't take out that 886. So if volatility is coming into play, then and it heats up and we roll over, okay, look out. Let me see, where's that 886 on that volatility metric? Looks like this. Although volatility hasn't done much in general, you haven't seen anything too crazy. You just hit it, so that was yesterday. Maybe that's what you're alluding to. There's the 886. And that does happen where volatility can be an indicator. We treat it the same way. If that's a bullish pattern, which it is, and you're trying to reverse at the 886, well, then maybe there's something to it, where volatility is going to pick up here, and then maybe the selling will too as well with it. I'll keep an eye on that one. Yeah, it will spike, but look, volatility is still at major long-term historic lows. Talk to me. We should look at the VIX index another time, but volatility has a long way to go before we have to worry about it in a major way, or even signaling anything substantial. Here's the weekly NASDAQ NQ chart off of that low. Tomorrow's close is going to be critical. So if we're down big tomorrow, that would maybe start to negate the scene. Much like Bitcoin, you just need NASDAQ to float higher, not roll over. I don't care if it doesn't do fireworks, but this has to continue. It looks like we're going to have an inside week. Unless something materializes into tomorrow and we can break out above that prior high. That's 15,267. Basically 15,300. You're not going to do it. It's a 500-point move from where you are. I would watch that. That's would be a troubling sign. Let's say we break down next week then we're going to have to deal with the larger possibility, which was 886. Again, those are the only two scenarios, folks. Are we going to retest, do a deeper retest, or is this it? Absolutely. And it has to be this low. You have a, kind of a nice doji there. This would have to be it for the larger uptrend, and you continue from here. Otherwise, you're going to take more time. You're going to do a deeper retracement against the cold bid low. And that's the thought process here. How do we know if it's really going to be a breakdown? Well, you take out the prior lows, but do your retracement spread on all of the markets, if it's crypto, if it's futures, crude oil, whatever, and on larger breakdowns, tell me what the minimums are, and this minimum 382 level is simply not out of the question. Again, if I was looking to just trace out my long-term support resistance, I'd say resistance is your 886 right now. Your max support is 382 at 12.9. You're somewhere in the middle of that. There's a lot going on. I think crude oil is one of the things to watch. It's scarier probably than it seems. And if we can get just something, again, I said this about crypto, the monthly close is really critical too. But you got a lot of things here where it looks like you might need more time. Yeah, again, I think it's, I want to look at these 886s in crypto for opportunities, but just still reaction opportunities where a retest would signal a larger potential move. And we've seen that over and over again. It's just today's getting clocked. Let's go back here. SPY's now breaking the new lows of the session. And Nasdaq's down what? Nasdaq's down 245 still. Check this 886 when we get there. There you go. It's now breaking the new lows. Until we get to that 886 for the day. And the thought here is that if you violate this low and you can't rally off of this bat pattern on the 5-minute chart, we could have problems in tomorrow. We could have some serious problems because look, there's the bat. Bat 886 is essentially where we are now. Eyes on that. We've been here for a while now, 1:30, but great session, folks. I will be back on Monday. Let me see. Is Harmonic Trader back up? Don't worry. I expect Harmonic Trader's back up. Very good. Hopefully that's fixed. If you have any questions, though, go to the Discord. Join us on the Discord. Daily BTC for the weekend. It's the daily BTC is only 47,000. It's the only thing you need to know about BTC. BTC, the 382 retracement off the all-time high is at 47,000. But that could get hampered if this does not work out. Okay, check out the SPY giving us a 5-minute pending pattern right now. I don't know if you folks saw this, but take a look. The blue line just went on. That's a pending pattern. That's how TradingView traces it out. So you're at the 886 right now. There's your pattern going into for tomorrow. We need to hold these lows. That looks, there's a nice reaction move. Go to harmonictrader.com. Stephanie, please put the Discord link into the chat so the folks can get with that. Appreciate it. That's what I have for today. Again, if you have any questions, get on Discord. Here's the Discord link just to show you. And where is that? Over here. Harmonic Pattern Central, folks. Thanks. Put that in there. And it's also on the basic members page. So until tomorrow, be back on Monday about 11:30. Let's see how this shapes up, how we go into the close. Also, remember, we got holiday week coming up. Holiday weekend next weekend. So I'll be here. I'll be here next week, but the following week we will have a day or two off. So we'll get into more of that on Monday. Thanks, everybody. Great week. You have any questions, get to me at harmonictrader@gmail.com. Otherwise, until Monday, 11:30. Have a great weekend and go get 'em.